Man, I just realized I have the wrong coffee cup.
You have the wrong cup. You got the right hat on, though.
It's because I'm drinking cold swill is what I have in here.
That's no good.
It's not fresh coffee.
Right shirt on. I'm Tom and Jerry, so I don't.
Yeah, at least I got the hat on. Like
you got the hat, and I have the coffee. I have the appropriate coffee cup, so we're good to go. We're good enough to go. Let's say that.
Oh, what's up, guys? Welcome to another Wednesday Indie Invasion Shorts. We'll give it a little bit of time for people to jump on, and me and Matt can sit here and jibber jabber a little bit, right?
Jabber, yes. So today, since we're talking about what we're talking about, we'll talk about that in a second.
Put a pin in that.
And the game references, I printed them and laminated them so that I can have quick references, because I'm getting a game of this in hopefully this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully this weekend. So there's Todd, fastest 30 minutes in gaming. That's right. That is tonight, the fastest 30 minutes in gaming. So what have you been working on there, Eric?
Priming, a little bit of painting, right. My Marvel Crisis Protocol minis. I did get all those.
That's that game you weren't going to get into, right?
Yeah, that's the game I wasn't going to get into. I'm still not getting into it. I'm just buying all the X-Men in it. And I did, start cleaning up the 3D printed ones I got from Etsy. Yep. I haven't got them to the point yet where I'm ready to prime them. Been a little bit crazy here with dogs and yard work and.
Yeah, that happens. So we have Spaz, Tim, and Mike are all on. Hey guys, how you doing? It's good to see everybody.
I start calling these guys the regulars.
Right, they are. We got the regulars. Maybe Eric will not get back into Monster Apocalypse again. There you go. You could not get back into that too.
Well, I do got the 2 starters that I bought a couple of years ago. It came out at Gen Con, and I opened them, looked at them, said, nope.
Well, I actually I haven't gotten any painting done. I haven't sat down at the desk to paint anything. I think I'm waiting for I'm really waiting for my Drowned Earth, because the only model I'm really thinking about I want to paint right now is my Gene Splicer model for the Drowned Earth. So
okay,
but I did get a game in, and I got a game of Ragers in, which I did that kind of more like a story video. I was just playing around, seeing how that worked out. I'm going to tweak some stuff. Got a comment about not being able to follow it too much, but I think they were looking more for gameplay, and that wasn't what I was going for.
You were kind of doing like, it reminded me of an old silent movie where they show, a short little video, and then they'll have some kind of text that sets up the narrative either before or after.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was doing. But I gotta say this: if you're looking for a solo zombie game, man, that game it's really good, and you can play it with a bunch of people, because the zombies are actually playable as a kind of faction for one of the players. So that's kind of cool. So let's see what we already got some comments here.
I don't remember now. Did they offer a PDF of that? Because I know you got the book. Okay. I had a heck of a time getting the book where they took forever to ship it, and then it came from New Zealand or something.
Yeah.
So
you can get it. I'm pretty sure it's at Wargame Vault. Yeah, it's at Wargame Vault. It's $15.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. $15 is good.
No, not bad. So we got, let's see. Todd asked, did we see Straw put up the 3D printed frog Thor for Crisis Protocol?
I did see that today. I actually saw a picture of him staring at his 3D printer, just waiting for it to come out. And then, he posted a picture of the little frog Thor.
Nice.
I'm probably glad I don't have a 3D printer. I'd be doing the same thing.
Well, apparently we're going to need to bump that conversation up a little.
Yeah, we might. What's Spaz have to say here?
Spaz was saying you should look into the upcoming Monster Apocalypse Kickstarter, because
I remember reading about it. I'm gonna keep an eye on it for what we gotta do, content. I'm always looking at that stuff.
Content.
I gotta keep see what's going on in the industry, man.
It's research. Right? It's research.
Exactly. That's
Mike
what
just
I
put
tell
Carnage.
my credit card company. It's research.
Right. Mike says he just put Carnage, Mysterio, Black Cat, and Spider-Man together. So he's getting ready to smack you around with some Spider-Man heroes there.
Yeah. Well, I got more villains now than just Magneto. So
all right. Well, that sounds good. So what are we going to talk about today there?
So guys, tonight we are going to talk about a game. So what we like to do is we're trying to get in the habit, and we've been doing it for a little while now, where towards the end of the month, one of the weeks, me and Mac will do a spotlight on a game, an indie game that we think is kind of neat and different and deserves a little bit of chit chat about. And tonight we're going to talk about Cutlass, published by Black Scorpion Miniatures. And you can find this on their website, blackscorpionminiatures.com. And the cool thing about this is if you are okay with a PDF, you can go there now. Well, not now, when we're done here. And you can download the PDF for free if you guys want to check it out.
Yes, because they're revamping some of the rules. We got a couple more comments here. Mike's like, anyone in for the He-Man Kickstarter? Man, I saw that, and I really like the models. And on Instagram, Angel Giraldez.
Yeah, he's painted a lot of the display ones.
And that's sort of putting me off the Kickstarter because I'm like, wow, those look just like the He-Man. Mine aren't going to look like that. So. We may have to talk about that on another day, but that's a tough call because it's expensive, but there's cool things in it. But anyway, really nostalgia. It's the nostalgia that would hit there. Todd says, I like the new look. Don't pay attention to the mess behind the curtain. Yeah, I put up a bunch of new shelves in the.
He wants to show off his shelves. Is what he's doing.
Shelves. I built 9 of the. Let's see, right here. I built 9 of these. I got the other ones. They're over in this corner back over here. So yeah. So, and besides, the real truth is with the black background, my bald head already washes out in the light, but with the black background, it's like I was glowing. So I was just trying to cut the shine off my head. That was the real motivation behind it. But anyway, we're going to talk about Cutlass. Now, I actually came across Black Scorpion Miniatures a long time ago, before they had Tombstone out, and I really liked their models. I actually used some of their models in my Wild West Exodus games. As a matter of fact, one of the scenarios that I wrote, which was a moonshine scenario, and I had these rednecks, hillbillies, and I built the still and all of this other stuff to go with it and wrote a scenario, which I still have the scenario, but they're only for us purists that play first edition Wild West Exodus. So sorry, I haven't changed it. But they had really cool cowboy miniatures, not steampunk, just cowboy, and they had their pirate miniatures. For the longest time, I was looking, and finally, I just couldn't resist, and I had to get my copy of Cutlass. That's right, Todd. I am a heathen. I am a first edition Wild West Exodus all the way, baby.
Oh, I'm trying to do something.
It's going to make Eric cry. I don't mean to make you cry, buddy. It's okay. There you go.
Yeah, I want to see us too. So that's the cover of the rule book, so you guys can see it a little bit better.
And right now, so just a point is they don't have a print copy available from Black Scorpion Miniatures right now because they're revamping the rule book. When I say revamping, I mean it's some minor changes, but they don't want to put it in print yet. So the copy I have is an older copy, which I don't care. There's an errata that's less than a page for stuff that they're changing. So it's not really a big deal.
Like we said, you get the PDFs for free, download it, and if there's anything a little bit different, just print that out and slide it in the book if you guys want a book.
Yep. So take us in, man. Take us in with the talking points.
Okay. So the way we like to do these spotlights is we like to give you guys a little bit of overview. We'll talk about what makes the game kind of stand out to us and what are, what is our favorite things? What do we like about the game? So overview of the world. It's another pirate game, right, Mac? It's a Pirate Skirmish game designed primarily for on the land or like in a port, but you could homebrew it and play on a boat if you want. I think they suggest that you could try that in the book.
Yeah. Like if you already have some existing rules, You could do really just about anything. I mean, you can use the old Whiz Kids pirates ships and campaign style. Obviously, the 32 millimeters won't fit on the 5,000th pirate ship.
Well, you get the big Lego one, right? Or is it Mega Blocks?
Right there. There's 5 of them right there on the top shelf.
But I mean, it's a game designed for 2 players. And, what I think is cool about the game, and this was one of the things that, grabbed me right away, is that you include your pirate crews with races. They don't have to be all human. They can be.
That's it right there.
Yep. They can be your fantasy. So you can have orcs and goblins. What else they have? Dwarves. They have elves, dwarfs, undead. So your classic, fantasy.
All your fantasy tropes, and just that regular, what you're accustomed to. What I really liked about it was I have all of the Rum and Bones.
Yeah.
And I liked Rum and Bones. Don't get me wrong. It was a fun game. I didn't feel like it had a lot of replayability for me. But I got them all. I picked them all up on sale on eBay. And it was because I wanted the models for Deep Wars and Shadow Sea by Antimatter Games. So I've got a ton of pirates. And I built my Undead crew. And I've got the really old Warhammer Fantasy Battles Long Drawn Slayer pirates. So I was really excited to be able to use those models again. Those are probably, I'm pretty sure, the last Warhammer Fantasy Battles models that I have. I still have one Mordheim model. Yeah, there you go. That's my crew. It's actually I finished painting them and moved them all to clear bases, but that's my crew. And they're all Rum and Bones models for my Undead, which is kind of cool. And Mike threw this question out there, and that's where I was going, Mike. Wondering if you could use the boards from Rum and Bones. I absolutely think you could. I think you could. You could set them on the table, and if the aesthetic doesn't work for you visually to have the cardboard board on there, I think it would be pretty easy to, especially with the Mega Bloks ships. That's one of them right there. One of my Mega Bloks ships right there that I put them on. It would be pretty easy to still just use the regular Mega Bloks ship. But if you have the Rum and Bones boards, which I do, I use them in my RPGs, you could definitely do that and add some of that. And hello, Kentucky Fried Gamers. How are you?
Yep.
Oh, so there's our notes. In case anybody wants to follow along.
Our notes now. Little sneak peek behind the curtain there. So yeah, this game is agnostic, so you can use whatever you want. But being that it's Black Scorpion Miniatures, they have a whole big line. I think it was 4 pages on their website of different pirate crews that you guys can get if you don't have pirates. I mean, there's a lot of pirate themed games out there, whether it's a miniatures game or a board game, like with the Rum and Bones and stuff, that you guys could probably use for this game.
The thing is too, is I have some of their miniatures anyway, and they do them in resin, but they're really, really nice. I mean, they're good quality resin. Sometimes you get the more brittle resin, or you get the softer resin. They're right in that middle space. Very few bubbles, just really good quality resin, in my experience. I'm sure you probably can get a bad one here and there.
Yeah.
They've been really good quality.
So, I mean, there's really not a whole lot to overview of the world. Like we said, it's a pirate game. You're playing kind of the one-on-one battles with your crew. It's mini agnostic. Not that many minis. You can anywhere from 8 to 12. I think it's kind of cool that you get to build the crews, and you can play in one-off scenarios, or they have campaigns in there too, which is kind of
for me.
Your typical campaigns where your crew can kind of get better as you go, or die, and then you have to, hire new guys.
Mine are undead. Mine can't die.
That's true. They're already there. Actually, you're all about recruiting then, right?
Oh yeah, man. We only go fight so we can recruit. I think the other thing I like for the world, and this is probably where you were getting ready to go, is all right, you didn't have your bell again. Much like Twisted, this uses your full polyhedral dice set, which I like. I like to be able to dig into my dice box and do that. And actually, it uses a couple of different things that we've seen in other games that have been standouts for us, particular things that we've liked about games. For instance, on the profile blocks, with how you use the dice. For those of you that have heard us talk at all about Street Wars from Funky Skull Games, where you have a tiered dice system, or Freeblades does the same thing. You might have a combat stat that's a D6. You might have an authority stat that's a D4. So you're using that whole gamut of dice, which is kind of fun. I like doing that. I like chucking a handful of 6-siders too, like I did in my little short game of Last Days the other day that I played as well. So
it kind of reminds me a little bit. You think about the full gamut; it's very narrative, like a RPG in a way. Then it's as you're playing, you're kind of creating stories anyway, and then just having all those dice. It totally reminds me of your classic RPG.
Yeah, well, and again, I derailed because I was reading comments. Sorry, I was reading comments for a second and I got derailed. That's the thing about Twisted that we had commented about so much way back in the beginning when we started doing this, is having that full set and throwing all those dice gives you that RPG feel, and then on top of that, it has the skills. So it's not really comprehensive like if you're building a character, but it still adds that little bit of extra flavor where you've kind of got a character, you know what I mean, as opposed to a stat card. Does that make sense? Did I track there okay? So let's see. Did I get my copy of Vortex? Yes, I did get my copy of Vortex. I haven't done a flip through yet because I have a lot of kids and I just haven't. And they're here, and it's just really hard to record when they're here because my children are very much like me and they're loud. So it's hard to record when they're here. But I did get it, and I have read through it, and I like what I see. And I did see your name in the front, by the way.
That's cool.
That's my favorite. You know, that's my favorite thing. That's the only reason I edit books.
Heck yeah. So let's move a little bit into something that about Cutlass that stands out to us. Now, we already mentioned that you can bring in the fantasy element. It's not just straight human pirates battling it out on the high seas. Or ports. It's the fantasy. But what else about Cutlass stands out to you? I mean, we named a couple.
To me, okay. Well, I don't want to steal what stood out to you.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with the exploding dice, like Freeblades.
Okay.
I like the exploding dice,
and they can keep going and going.
Right, and I like them because of the tiered system. Again, like we said, there's stuff that seems like it's out of a bunch of different games, and we've mentioned this before too. There's nothing new under the sun really with the games. It's just how creative someone is when they combine these different elements that are out there in a bunch of different games. Really. Yeah, that's how I see it. But I like the exploding dice because you have that possibility that, albeit slim, of that D4 goblin overcoming some big buff pirate bosun's mate or some undead guy just because you happen to roll exploding dice. And with the D4, you got a much better chance of exploding your die than you do on a D12 or a D20. So
yeah. Oh yeah. So all right.
So you can have zombie pirates.
Heck yeah.
So he already downloaded the book. It's just a matter of getting him to move down here.
I probably have some somewhere. I have a lot of zombies.
Oh, you do. If you don't, I have plenty of rum and bones. Plenty.
I think I got zombies for every genre you could think of.
Well, not yet, but you do have your cowboy zombies coming now.
I do have those coming. So one of the things that jumped out to me was the action reaction point system. It's a little bit different. They've tweaked this a little bit from the original, but it's basically your initiative based, and you don't know when you'll get to go. You know, you roll a die, and that's kind of your actions for the turn. So it has this balance of, I'm going to take these points and I can activate, but do I want to use them all? Do I want to pass and let the opponent go? So if he starts doing stuff, I can use those points to interrupt.
Right. And I think the unique thing about that interrupting that reaction as opposed to some other reaction mechanics from other games is that if Eric is the active player and he
Hmm.
shoots at me and misses and then I do a reaction, not only do I get to shoot at him, but if I succeed in my reaction, now I'm the active warband and he's no longer the active warband. So you want to be careful. You don't
Yeah,
necessarily want to jump
that's a
right in.
chance,
Right,
right?
exactly. You're taking a chance. So it's a little bit of that risk reward, and I like risk reward in a game.
Yeah, and
I
the chance is if you don't succeed in basically doing the
right,
reaction check, because it's a lot of the stats and the things you do with the dice here are checks.
yeah,
And if you don't succeed, well, they still take the point away from you, like
that's
you
right.
actually had the reaction.
You still burn the action point. So Mike said, "Are they generic, undead, or specific?" I would have to say they're kind of in the middle,
It's
Mike.
kind
And
of what you want it though, if you do the
yeah,
campaign, right?
what I mean by that is, I'm going to flip to the undead because that's what I built.
Okay.
And give you an example. So your undead captain, he's just listed as an undead captain. Period. That's it. He has the skills he has is he's a leader, ghost, and necromancer. But those are skills. So it doesn't necessarily mean he's a ghost. He could be a Davy Jones, or
Mm-hmm.
he could be a skeleton, or he could be a wraith or anything else. And then you can have 0 to 4 wraiths. They're called wraiths, but really they could be anything. So and then they're undead pirates and undead rogues. So they can kind of be whatever you want. Now, the stuff that Black Scorpion has made, obviously, that's specific.
Yeah.
Their models are made to what they've done. So if you're doing humans, you may have a regular bunch of scurvy dogs type pirates, or you can have the Her Majesty's Navy. And you can have a governor on the ship or all kinds of other stuff. So there's quite a bit of variety
Yeah, I
in
put
what
this
you
in there
can
somewhere.
bring to the table, but not necessarily. So what I just read to you, that's basically the 4 options that you have to bring to an undead crew. And it, like I said, it's small, but you also have skill sets that you can advance through. So that's kind of cool too. And then everybody starts with some basic skills. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean it's I kind of like it's neat too. Another thing that kind of reminds me of RPG is like I mentioned that you're doing a lot of skills checks
Right.
with your stats. They have a lot of charts on here that
Yeah.
you actually look at to see what happens. So it adds like a pretty, replayable, just could be anything,
Yeah.
veritable, which is kind of interesting. Now the tables aren't too deep, but some of them are.
Yeah.
Uh,
And they have, so this quick reference in the back of the book. The plus side to having it in a PDF is it's easy to print. So I just printed them double sided, and there's, let's see, one, two, there's 4, so there's 8 reference sheets.
mhm.
But the reference sheets are everything from weapon range charts and damage to the game sequence. So it really covers the whole gamut,
Yeah.
as opposed to here's combat, here's shooting, here's movement. It's kind of everything. It's got your weapon charts, it's got your wound charts, it's got your new skills chart. So it's got the campaign charts in there that you'll roll on at the end. And it's pretty extensive. And the thing is, there's not much out there about the game, and I'm not sure why, because there's some good pirate games out there.
Yeah, yeah. It might be because the age this game originally came out in 2011, so it's
Right.
already 10 years old.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, they had the Tombstone come out, which uses
Right.
a lot of the similar rules, but they tweaked stuff. They
Right.
kind of fine tuned it, and they just haven't got to you know doing an official reapply to Cutlass.
Yeah.
They did the FAQ that is in the PDF. But yeah, I don't know either. I
Yeah. There's
wonder if
almost
it's
there's like nothing out there in YouTube land, because
yeah,
I remember when I was first looking at it. You go to YouTube, you try to find something, at least somebody unboxing some miniatures or something, so you can get an idea of it. There's nothing out there.
I think maybe it might be because of the age and just there's
Yeah.
a lot of pirate games out there. But to tell you the truth, a lot of them don't really jump out to me like this
No.
one. And not just because of the fantasy element of bringing in the fantasy races. I think the game is streamlined and easy to jump into enough that I don't know. I think maybe people want more crunch in their pirates, or maybe it's because they want them on the boats. But the thing is, you can do this on boats if you want.
Yeah.
You can do anything you want, really.
Yeah. So, see, we had you could use your Blackbane's Ghost Raiders from War Machine. Yes, you can. Absolutely. That'd be a great pirate crew. Or that'd be a great crew, period.
Yeah.
You could with the undead pirates, I guess you could play your undead pirates just as pirates if you wanted to, because it's miniatures agnostic, so you can't throw anything up there, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Sure, do it. Do whatever you want.
That's the nice thing about these games. They're your games, right? Do what you want.
Yes. I can't wait to I want to get my dwarves painted up because I only have one of them painted. But if you guys, even if you're not interested in the game, go to the Black Scorpion website and look at their dwarf pirates. I love their dwarf pirates, man. They're awesome. And they're going to go perfectly with Long Drawn Slayer pirates from that was the Dogs of War book for those of you that remember back then. You do you, boo. That's right. That's right. You play whatever you want to play. Just put them on the table. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be working out a solo scenario. Because I don't really have anyone to play with. It seems like every time my oldest son messages me and says, "Hey, do you want to play tonight?" something comes up, with the kids or something. So it's easier for me to. Most of the time, when I sit down to do a solo game, I can get it done in under an hour, no matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's our litmus test for a short game is Relic Blade, but it doesn't matter if it's a Relic Blade length game or something significantly longer. 5 parsecs from home, I did my my battle report with that one for my campaign turn 1, and that's just fun to roll. Y'all need to check that one out now too. That one's good. I'm really liking that one. I just started my campaign turn 2, and yes, Mike, drunken dwarf pirates, you need to be in. Just right there, you need to pick up some pirate dwarves, and they just need to be drunk all the time and have some sort of special rule.
There's been a lot of shenanigans there. So what do you like about the game? It kind of sounds like the campaign is kind of your thing because you can kind of advance the characters, build the basic and let them grow, maybe?
Yeah, I like the campaign. I think that lately for me, what I've liked is when I look at a rule set, it's how easily I can adapt it to play solo. And I think that this will be pretty easy. I generally use a fairly generic bad guy AI when I play. So it kind of transfers across everything. And because this plays in a similar manner to Twisted, and what I mean by that is the polyhedral dice set. So you've got a lot of space going on in what you're rolling, and it leaves a lot of room to do stuff. So I'll just probably port in what I was doing with Twisted for that. So Todd says player being drunk has no game effects unless they fall on the table.
Yeah.
Unless they fall on the table, then you have bad game effects. That's like table flipping, only not. Mike says maybe he'll roll better. Maybe he might. I don't know.
So one of the things that we haven't mentioned yet, and that is kind of something that I like about the game, is the damage. Damage doesn't kill your characters outright, right? So we haven't mentioned this yet. And what it reminds me of a little bit is the newest edition of Wild West Exodus. It's about a number of conditions that can be gained that affect the models in some way.
Oh, I see why you did that. First, second edition Wild West Exodus.
You might like this, Todd. Some last a little bit, kind of like taken out. It's kind of like an injury. And then there's others that they can recover. There's a recover phase in the game that they can. Like surprised. which I think is a neat one. I like the surprise one.
Yeah.
Stunned, injured, or another one I like is spooked. You can actually scare characters in here.
I love spook. With the spook rule, if your dude is running, if he gets behind cover and gets out of line of sight, he automatically recovers from spook as he cowers behind the boxes. That's just hilarious to me. I love that. That's
one of the things I like about the game. It adds some flavor to the game, and it can streamline the game, because there isn't like they have 20 wounds before they're gone. Right. It's a matter of, then it's dice rolling and how many conditions they have, but they do have a chance to get those conditions off,
right,
and still be in the game. But it's also a dice game, so you could be unlucky, and they just they get spooked and run off the board.
Yep.
Bye, Bob.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite condition is spook. I love that one. So real quick, you have your options are Royal Navy, Pirates, Privateers, Orcs and Goblins, Undead, Dwarves and Elves. So those are the factions you have available, and they have full factions for
all of them. Yeah.
So they've got you can easily have 12 for every one of those factions if you want to. And one of the cool things that they do is, I don't know if they have it in the Dwarves. I know they don't have it in the Undead because they don't need it. But I know in the Pirates and the Privateers, they've got male and female models, which I think is kind of cool. So you can mix it up. There's no difference as far as what the model brings to the table. It's just flavor. So
yeah. Oh, all right.
Let's see. Hold on one second. I'm checking something real quick on the models that I think I want to say. Here we go. Okay, so if anyone is familiar with Bad Squidoo Games, she makes basically female miniatures that aren't wearing the bra chainmail. They're actually wearing armor. You know what I mean? That they would go to battle in, not like the video game armor that makes no sense. And Black Scorpion female pirates are like that too, which I think is cool a lot because I play with my kids. So the female models aren't over sexualized, because sometimes that's a problem when you're playing with your little kids. So I like that they look like pirates. Yeah, a couple of them got short skirts, a la the girls that worked on the wharf style, but they've got full trench coats and pirate hats and the whole 9 yards. So hey, look who's there, Wayne, just in time for us to check off. Well, hopefully our switch on October 7th will help with that. And no, Mike, there's no ogres. I don't believe there were any ogres, but
I think they have rules for like special characters, like monsters.
Special characters. I don't know. The ogre might be something that's more in the
maybe a scenario.
Monster special scenario section.
Nothing stopping you from adding some, though.
No, add whatever you need. They do have some rules for a cannon crew as well, which is kind of neat. Here we go. Special characters. I think all they have is the giant.
And there may be something out there somewhere in a fan site, right? People have come up with, and
there's not even a Facebook group for Cutlass.
Really? Wow, I'm surprised. Well, I said, 2011, it's 10 years old.
Let's bring it back to life, man.
You could.
I'm going to put this one on the table. I'm excited to at least give it a try.
This could be a good little group game, that you play and maybe get a little bit of interest in your area.
Man.
So that kind of, I think, leads to what makes this stand out for us versus other pirate games out there, right? There's a lot of other pirate games out there. I think what stands out for me from other pirate games is that it isn't just straight up, humans. You do have a little bit of the fantasy if you want. You don't have to do that. Yeah. You could do just the Royal Navy versus your Buccaneers.
Yeah.
But if you want a little bit more flavor, you can bring in that fantasy. Yeah. So it can be kind of quirky and different.
Yeah. For me, what I'm kind of struggling with is I've got two. I've got Freebooter's Fate, which is out of Germany,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've got Cutlass. And both of them are similar in that they bring the fantasy element to your pirate game. Freebooter's Fate is a more card-driven game,
Okay.
whereas Cutlass is a more dice-driven. It is a dice-driven game. But I give all the credit in the world to Mana Press for changing my mind about games that are card driven.
Yeah.
Because that changed my mind a lot about card driven games. I gave it a try and I was impressed. Maybe it was just his take on it that I liked. I may not like any other card driven games, but his at least put it out there so that I'm willing to give him a try. So I'm putting it on the table.
Okay.
Hopefully before Friday. I might even put a video up Monday.
Oh man.
Maybe. We got to see.
Well,
that's the fact. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if this sounds cool to you guys, go check it out. And the little ticker we got going down there. Look up Cutlass. Like I said, it's free. Can't beat free, right? At least read through it.
Yep.
And check it out.
Let's see. What did Mike say? Freebooters, Malifaux style. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It kind of is Malifaux style where you're playing a deck and it's pretty cool. I don't know if you can download the Freebooters Fate book or not. I'll bet you can. Give me 1 second and I will tell you if you can download it because I do not remember.
Because you got a book off eBay, right?
I got mine off of eBay from Noble Knight because the problem is I got my Google Translate going on here, but because the page is in German.
Oh.
So rules, let's see. I don't know. These are all in German. They got the quick start rules on there. So you can't download the book. But you can go to, here in the States, you can check out Noble Knight has it.
They're good for finding some of the older games that are either hard to find in the States or just out of print. A lot of times they have some of the old editions of stuff.
Yeah, and some of the guys in Germany that I know from the Drowned Earth crew, they apparently Freebooters Fate is pretty, I mean, it's not 40K ish, but it's pretty popular there. I guess it gets played pretty regularly, and I picked up 2 factions from a buddy of mine, and I've got the rule book and the cards, the extra cards, because I like to have that stuff. So I'm looking forward to trying that one too. So maybe I'll get a pirate weekend this weekend.
Heck yeah.
Well, that was the fastest 37 minutes.
Oh, I got to change this now?
You got to change it now.
I was just going to put it up.
Have to have a little, on the shirt, it'll have to have a little flip thing for how long it went. A little score flipper thing there.
Or better yet, a little dry erase. You could just go up to you and write on it.
So there you go, Todd. We gave you almost an extra 10 minutes, and I might even be able to stretch this ending part out to give you a full extra 10 minutes. Maybe. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us tonight because I think it's my turn to take us out. And we appreciate you guys checking in. Remember, the biggest thing that you guys can do is like and share. That's the biggest thing you can do, because get the word out there, get people watching stuff. Tell us about games, whatever it is. And remember that we are moving shorts on October 7th to Thursdays. That's going to be the regular thing. And we explained it a little bit last week, but kind of the impetus behind that is it gives us the weekend to work on
stuff,
videos and whatever, flip through so that we can post that stuff Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then come on and do shorts on Thursday. So that was kind of the
spaces it out basically for everybody.
Yeah, spaces it out for us so that it's a little easier for us to get in there. But don't forget to go check us out on Podbean, because that is our main place. We are almost to 6,500 downloads, which is pretty dang cool, I think. But you can check that out on Podbean, iTunes, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all the regular places that you download podcasts. But go follow us on Podbean because we like followers on Podbean.
Yep.
You can also check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Discord. We've been putting quite a bit of stuff in Discord and YouTube the past month or so, so that's pretty cool. There's the link for Discord. Pop on over there and give us a join. We will be happy to add you to the mix. And this is where you can find the links to everything, is the CoastalCon website at coastaltext.com. All the stuff we talk about, there's a link on there for everything. For the podcast, for the Facebook, for the YouTube, might even be for the Twitter. I don't know. There's so much stuff out there. Who knows? You can also check us out on Patreon if you would like to support us. If you like what you hear, that'll be cool. If you don't, well, guess what? That's okay too. We still love you.
Yep.
And we'll still come and do shorts. And if you want one of these sweet coffee mugs, or one of those awesome hats, or a shirt, or a shower curtain, or whatever you want, head on over to our Redbubble store and you can check some cool products out over there. Tyler has a present on the way. He is not with us tonight, but if you watch this later, Tyler, there's something on the way to your house, my friend. I'm not good with surprises. I was just going to let it show up, but you can ask my wife. I'm horrible with surprises. I got to buy stuff the day before Christmas, or I just tell people. So that's just the nature of it.
Man.
Indie shorts, wearing indie shorts. Yes, you probably can get shorts. I'm getting ready to order myself a hoodie.
I think they have mouse pads now. I just got an email from them that you can get a mouse pad if you want.
Well, I'm getting ready to order myself a hoodie because pretty soon it's going to be cold here.
It's already cold here. We're like mid-50s already.
It'll be like 65, in February. 65. It's going to be cold. I'm going to need a hoodie.
Man.
While I keep the doors off my Jeep. Am I rubbing that in enough? Okay, anyway. Don't forget, guys, CoastalCon is coming up. If you are not in the CoastalCon Facebook group and you're interested in CoastalCon, go over there, join the group. That's where I'm going to start posting. I just posted tonight I guess you would call it the teaser trailer. That information is going to start coming. October is the month that I will be able to book the venue. So that will be coming up. And then I will start recruiting vendors and guys to show off games. So more info constantly coming on that. So go over to that one too and join up. And until then, my friends, while we play really cool games like Cutlass and Ragers, go spend a bunch of money at War Game Vault. You'll feel good about yourself.
Feel better, right?
You'll feel better about yourself. But until then, guys, till we see you next time, prepare yourselves for the invasion.